I think from early on, I really just had a passion for learning, had a passion for school, and I had a passion for animals. Being from Louisiana, small town called Opelousas, you really see a lot of animals, and then you have a lot of people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis, and having a good bit of collegiate role models, a good bit of collegiate figures to look at an early age. I think it's what really kind of lays that foundation for somebody to aspire to be a Cornellian, and not just a Cornellian, to be a college student in general. um so with that foundation, you take that and you transition off to middle school, you transition off to high school, and within middle school, I think that's where the kind of the I guess you could say the build kind of took place, the structure of how I wanted to go about looking for colleges and things like that. Because you start to get a sense of who you are. You start to get a feel of the college experience. You watch shows, you watch movies, and they're all talking about college and this and that. So whenever you get to, eighth grade, ninth grade, that's when I believe the college process truly begins, in which you start to structure yourself accordingly for college, in which you're taking your studies more seriously. If you weren't doing so already, you really start to really find out where your passion is more specifically, and within subjects, biology, English, math, uh, and then so it really just builds. And whenever you start the college process, you look at. I would advise you to build off of your passions. I built off of my passions. I looked at what it is that I loved. I looked at who had fantastic animal science programs, because I loved animals. I looked at locations because I wanted to leave home. That was a big thing, actually. And I think, just looking at whenever I discovered Cornell, because I think at the time they were number two, I think they were behind UC Davis. And I said, okay, well, I see California all the time. And, I really would like to go to New York. So I think that's what really um, took it for me, seeing, imagining myself as a little country boy out here in Cornell, out here at Cornell, out here in Ithaca, in a home away from home, because it kind of reminded me of it. Ithaca is very rural. It's very away from things, but I also have the opportunity to go to those type of city populated places, if I desire it. So yeah. I think when I first looked at Cornell, I think it was really almost like love at first sight, really. Really, truly. I think it was more so of love at first sight, because of the fact that, I'm a country boy. And the first video I looked at about Cornell was the infamous "Glorious to View" video, in which the first scene is just land. It's just, it's landscape, and that really just made the little country boy in me just jump out and say, "Oh, you have my attention." And that's what really made me just want to watch more of the video. And as you progress within the video, now you start to hear people speak, you start to hear them talk about the nuances and things like that of the university. And as they're showing and highlighting these fantastic alumni and professors at the institution, they're still showing more of the landscape, they're still showing more of what Cornell looks like, what Ithaca looks like. And so it's just the entire time the little country boy in me is just loving what's going on. And it's just working beautifully in tangent with the academic part of myself that's saying, oh yeah, I want to go to, this is fantastic in Ivy League. I never even heard of Cornell before. And I think that's really a beautiful thing in itself too. I think that's kind of also what made me choose Cornell, was because of the fact that I never heard of it. Because a lot of times when people hear Ivy League, they think of the big three. They think of Harvard, Yale, and Princeton. So, to hear about Cornell, to see it for what it was, and to say, well, oh my gosh, why is this not, blasted like the other three? And so now that piques interest, that piques you into looking into history of the university, missions, departments, alumni, faculty, just students. And I think all those things combined, looking at how Cornell represented itself, looking at how Cornell molded people, the types of people that came out, I think it was something that I couldn't escape and I couldn't ignore, because of the fact that I saw Cornell as more than just a school. Because for me, it was, I could see the intangibles that Cornell had, because a lot of people will tend to look at, what's offered, what course listings are there, what type of academic, achievements do they have as a university, who's represented. um but for me, it was more than that. It was the testimonies, it was the types of, challenges and transformations that came from, people of the university. And social media is a very powerful thing. And I think, going online, finding Cornell alumni, recent, grads at the time, reaching out to them, explaining to them that I was in the college process, and them being willing to, advise and help out any kind of way. Uh, one guy who really stood out, Jojo Fallis, he played basketball here. He really, I thought he was going to be like a stuck up guy, as like, media depicts, the kind of Ivy League student. I thought he was going to be kind of stuck up and, like, not answer or tell me to do a lot of things myself. But he really wasn't. He was very encouraging. He really, just helped guide me throughout, securing, myself, looking at myself as a Cornell student. So I think all of those things, it was just, it was a no-brainer at that point. I think I would say freshman year me is probably my favorite me of of my 4 years here. Um, because of the fact that 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 version of me had the most transformation. That version of me was raw. He was just, straight out of Louisiana, straight out of Appaloosa. So it was a big culture shock for me, as well as other students of the university, whenever I came here. And I think my favorite memory, um, well, memories, I'd say, is two of them. Is one of them was, a kind of occurrence that happened over time. I think Princess and the Frog had just came out. Everybody was literally saying I sounded like the Firefly character off of Princess and the Frog. And it really helped secure, kind of a social identity for me, because I was the first Southern person, a lot of people have met. A lot of students are from the Northeast and West Coast. So to hear someone with a real authentic accent, I think it threw them for a loop, and everybody just wanted to hear me talk. Like, they just wanted me to say words, and the famous one is baby. Everybody wanted me to say baby. Um, and then the second is in which I would walk around campus and I had a Bluetooth speaker attached to my to my backpack. And I would walk around and I would play, just all these Louisiana artists. I would play Kevin Gates, I would play Boosie, I would play Young Buck, play Lil Wayne, and all Master P, and all just a whole bunch of Southern artists that a lot of people didn't know. And it's loud. Like I'm walking on campus and it's just loud. And everybody would be looking at them like, oh my gosh, what is this kid's listening to? And it was just so funny to see people's head turn. And I think that me also dealt with the most struggles. That me also dealt with the most academic struggles, dealt with the most personal struggles, because my background wasn't like a lot of other students coming here. I struggled a lot severely, and the thing about it was all so new, right? I never had to ask for help before. I had never received anything less than a B on a test before. And I think it was a lot of personal growth and determination that helped that year me come to terms with the college experience. And that transitioned off to my sophomore year, in which I kind of got a real groove of college. I got a real wake up call. I got a real glimpse of you know true challenges and hardship, academically speaking. So sophomore year me was just more, he was more on the ball. He was more, head down in the books. He was less, I am a very social person, just very social, but I think sophomore year me was a tad less social because of the fact that I said to myself, yeah, I need to buckle up. I got in this car. I got to drive it, and I got to drive it until I get to the end of the road. I can't pull over, can't fix a tire, can't do none of that. Gotta keep going. Junior year me was the sweet spot. Junior year me was the perfect blend of freshman year me and sophomore year me. It was a good mix. It was, good social life, good academic life. Everything went well. And I think junior year me was, kind of in my opinion, the epitome of a college student. I think junior year me was just everything that you would want to see within a college student. Just it just seemed like everything was just beautiful. Everything was just fine and dandy. Like no issues whatsoever. It was just a beautiful mix of social and academic life. Senior year, current me. It's so weird talking about myself in my current present state. Uh, I think senior year me is so relaxed. Senior year me is just very, I'm very much so looking back more so than looking forward, college wise, um, because of the fact, you're a senior, so you really start to reflect off of your 4 years. You really start to, hang out with a lot of the people that you came into college with, and seeing how differently all of you have progressed, how all of you have changed, and then you start to reminisce, and you start to wonder, okay, well, what's life going to be like after we leave? Are we ever going to see each other again? So, but senior year me is a pretty good me. I think it just really built off of junior year me, but I think that because I've done it before, because I know that I've had these past 3 years of experiences and challenges, I think that senior year me is just like, yeah, yeah, it doesn't matter whatever comes my way. I can get through it. So, and then I also know that there are rough times. They're gonna happen. So I just let them come, and you deal with them accordingly. So yeah, but I think all 4 years of myself are definitely beautiful individuals, and they each have their strengths and they each have their weaknesses. Number one would be whenever I was a pre-freshman. So I participated in the pre-freshman summer program for Cornell, which is basically you come and you spend the summer before the fall, your freshman fall. So before your actual first semester, you come and you spend the summer here, and you take classes. You get kind of in the groove of what it is that Cornell has to offer and how you're going to live as a college student, things like that. And it was during that time, and I performed a stand-up uh, segment for the for the talent show that we had for the program. And it was so funny because I thought I was a funny kid. And it was just so relieving to be able to try and channel my inner comedian, and to share my experiences, share my emotions, share my unique childhood with these students who I've just met for 2 months, and that I'm about to embark on this whole 4-year journey with. And for them to receive that laugh along with me, to understand what it was I was trying to do, I think that was a real beautiful experience for me, and it kind of just sealed the deal that I'd be okay here. My second experience, I would say it was within my, I forget if it was my sophomore year, junior year. I think it might have been my sophomore year, in which I participated in a date auction. I participated in the I participated in a date auction, and it was so in my mind, I'm like, oh yes, this is fantastic. I'm about to find out who likes me on campus. Um, and you're there, and everybody's telling you, be yourself, be extravagant, let yourself out. And that's the last thing you want to tell me. That's the last thing you want to tell me, because my personality is already bold. All I need is a reason to just let it all out. They call you up to the stage, and I'm up here dancing on stage, and this and that and the third. And I'm just, you know, I'm just being so foolish, and just so loose. And it was it was just refreshing. It was nice to just be out there, be authentic, in which a lot of people would try to be formal. A lot of people would try to be very presentable. I think the third experience would and this is kind of like a touchy one, right? I think my best experience came from when a friend of mine was really really going through a couple of personal struggles. And I was just, I'm always that person to be there for somebody. I'm always that person, whether I know you or not. I just like making myself available if I'm able to. um, and just being there for that person, and just help them through their struggles academically, personally, because I think that's an aspect of college that a lot of students try to bottle in, that they try to shelter in. And I think that it's necessary for you to release that. I think it's necessary for you to be able to vent that. I think it's necessary for you to be able to have that resolution come from, or not necessarily yourself, but to have some help along that process. And just, today, seeing where they are now, it really touches my heart. It really, really warms my heart to see that they've made it, these 4 years along with me. when they thought that they couldn't, and they thought about not being here for 4 years. So I think, yeah, and that, yeah, I think that one actually might be my best experience. I think that might be my best memory. Yeah, and it made me cry. So
Mm.
I think that's probably the best one. The best resources that I've gotten from Cornell are the people. Yeah, I think, and it's so weird. I think a lot of students do this in the role of, you go to school, you do what you have to do, you hit a wall, and then you seek the resources that you need to help you get over that wall. I think I did that in reverse. I did that in total reverse. I sought out every, and I wouldn't even say I sought it out. I well sought them out, I should say. I think I naturally just found myself amongst them, and from that, from meeting, one or two people on campus, faculty staff on campus, that built on to me just meeting up an entire load of others. So just about any person that, whatever wall I hit, if I hit a wall, then I already knew who to go to, in response to that. So the best resource, and to put it, to give a name, um, the best resource, well, two, I would have to say the best resources I've had during my 4 years here. One, his name is Richard Onyedra, works in the admissions office. And he's just been there from, since I started at the university, just there for me, as a student, as an individual, um, you know, telling me what I needed to be told, even when, sometimes I might have not wanted to hear it, but I needed to. The second one is William uh, Horning. We call him Woods. Uh, and I, I mean, I would honestly have to say he's probably my favorite. He's probably my favorite resource on campus. He's probably my favorite person on campus. He's such a lovable guy. Every time I see him, I hug him, and he hugs me back. And it's just it's no matter how bad things were or how good things were, it was just in that small moment, in that split second of a moment, that I'm hugging Mr. Woods. It's fine. Everything's good. It's like a reset button. And have, pointed me in the right direction that I've needed over my 4 years. They've been there for me. Like I can just walk into their offices, and no appointment necessary. I can just walk into their offices and, you know, tell them my problems, or, ask for guidance on this and that. And they'll point me in the right direction if they don't have the answer for it themselves. So, but I think Cornell has, a whole ton of other resources available to, like, spaces. So, Mr. Woods works within WADI, the Office of Academic and Diversity Initiatives. That entire office is just, helpful. It's just such a hidden treasure, a hidden jewel about the university that a lot of people don't know. Um, Except for, majority students of color. We pretty much all know about Wadi, and we take advantage of it, and they're here for us for whatever it is that we need. I just think that there's a whole bunch of people here that can, make a student's collegiate life and possibly thereafter. um, because I think that's what really makes a university. You know, kind of the people that are there, not just necessarily the tools that you're able to use while you're on a college campus. I can't even say that. I was about to say I've had more an impact on the community it's had on me, but that's just not, no. I can't say that. I actually can't. The Cornell community has definitely had more of an impact on me than I've had on it. Um, in which it's made me more well-rounded. It's made me more outspoken, although I kind of already was a rambunctious individual coming in, but now I'm able to, thread the needle, if that makes sense. I'm able to do so more of a more informed, a more respectful means of engagement whenever I have to. And gosh, it's just oh, the people you'll meet, the people you'll meet on this campus, in this community, in the greater Ithaca community, is really just. I mean, granted, I haven't been anywhere else, but I think it's second to none, um, because of the fact that Cornell brings in so many people from all over the world, and they're all so different from you, but at the same time, they're all so much like you. And it's a beautiful thing to find that middle ground, to see what makes you all click together, to see the different types of people within the world, to see the different types of personalities, the different types of languages, different type of accents. Um, and it's a beautiful thing. And so much to the point to where I genuinely think of the people that I've met here as my family. Like, I refer to everyone as, my brother, my sister. And I did that naturally, coming from the South, but I've grown more of a meaning, a more strong personal connection behind those words, saying them to certain people. But at the same time, I do think I have, influenced, and I think I've improved the the Cornell community. I think I've had a good impact on it, um, because of the fact, I'm the first Southern person a lot of people have met in their lives. So, just as them, relaying their childhood, their background, their experiences on me, um, I think I've done the same with them. And just me being the outgoing person that I am, I'm not afraid to say what's on my mind. I'm not afraid to say what I'm feeling. I'm not afraid to speak up when everybody else is silent. And I think that has, has allowed me to, grow in the fact that I've learned like when to speak up for others. I've learned when to not speak up for others, because there are some people who can speak up for themselves. Um, and it's just, I think I've also allowed people to, just know that there are some people out there that are just, there, that are just there for you, just, there for you in any means that you need them to be. Um, and just like a beam, just a beam of hope, a beam of light. And yeah, I think the duality that Cornell has brought to me and that I've brought to Cornell is unmatched. Yeah. Yeah, that might sound a little cocky, but I think it's unmatched.